G'day guys, welcome to the live stream. We're going to react to round 13, everything that's happened this weekend, see how I went, look at all the games I'm going to go through, and then possibly look at some trades, although I don't think I'll be doing anything this week, but a bit to talk about. Let me know how you went in the chat, and then we'll wait for a few more people to join. JD might be joining me, but he's got to see what's happening with the kids or something, this time of night. It's always a bit awkward for old JD, but so yeah, we can see what I scored, 21-67. Pretty uneventful round as far as scoring, only two teams on bye. People only really own Tom Stewart, and then I guess there's a few Noah Anderson owners, maybe some Wits owners as well, but not many of those. So, best 18 in a round where pretty much everyone at least had 18 premiums, at least, and then probably even towards 19 or 20. And then we had a lot of good scores from some rookies as well. Matt Johnson, Wardlaw, a couple of others I'm probably forgetting. But yeah, it was just a pretty useless week. Pretty much had to hit the captaincy to probably gain any ground. I didn't, and I gained about 90 spots. I was just outside the top 1K. So pretty much held rank. If you were able to get a, lead or pretty much anyone that probably went 130, you probably made some ground. But just one of those weird weeks in SuperCoach land. Probably, it's never really happened before. I don't know why the buys are across four weeks as it is, but that's just the way it is. Brisbane Lions 21.83. Yeah, nice, mate. Would have gone up with that. So good stuff there. I guess we'll get into my team quickly, how I went. Just talk about some players, and then we'll get to some other stuff. Bailey 2100, yeah. Tim English, very, very weird game from him on Friday night. Scored about all his points in three quarters. Just was terrible in the first quarter. Lost pretty much every hit. I don't think he had a hit out in the first quarter against Lysette, which is pretty poor. That's not usually his game anyway, but to do that poorly is very, very bad. Unless this is a troll, because it seems like it. Yeah, mate, you'll definitely shoot up the ranks. It's open anyway, so you should have a look. But it's a big score this week. My team, so Sicily, obviously, yep, big talking point for this week. With looks like, getting another suspension with him heading straight to the tribunal for that tackle on Hugh McCluggage. So that's just absolute killer for all of us with him. I started him, so I've had him all year. Rode the ups and downs, played a bit of lockdown early on. Was still scoring okay. Got freed up a few weeks, but it wasn't consistent. And then, about a month ago, maybe not even, got freed up and has scored very, very well since then. Even this week with Frost out, they still made sure that he was, more loose. And then obviously, that's a big key to him playing well, obviously scoring well, but I guess them playing well too, and then he copped a suspension, what was it, a couple of weeks ago, obviously the 1 week for that hit on Kama, and then an unlucky sort of, lunging tackle where, I don't think I don't want to get into this because I hate it as much as probably all you guys, but it's a different tackle to a lot of the other ones where, not really dumping him into the turf, just sort of swung him around 360, and it just ended in Hugh hitting his head and a bit awkward landing and knocked him out. So I don't know. That to me shouldn't be straight to the tribunal. I would probably expected a week with what most of them have been getting, but to be sent straight to the tribunal really, makes it hard. And he's got obviously the bye this week, so if it's 3, then it's a month out without him. And we're all running low on trades. Well, I am at least, and to have to decide what to do there is pretty tough because he's going to be missing round 15, I would say at least, and that's a tough week. But past that, I think he's going to be one of the top 2 or 3 defenders scoring wise. But if you're going to not have him for 4 weeks, it's probably worth using a trade to get rid of him, which is very, very annoying. But other than that, scored very well. Dacos had a great first half today, and then went missing for a little bit. Then obviously kicked that late goal, which boosted his score up nicely. Scored bang on his averages here. Probably, is going to go around 120, I would say. for the rest of the year. That's just him. Um, Dawson, yeah, look, VC'd Rowan and then just decided whatever last minute to switch to Dawson in what I would expect to have been a big smacking, which it was in the end. What was it, 120 points in the end? But obviously, Laird was a beneficiary there, and obviously Tech's a big one. Yeah, Dawson just didn't really look too interested, although he still grabbed about 30 touches. It just didn't eventuate into points. His kicking's been a bit poor this week, so yeah, a lot of us did, Nathan. Unfortunately, I think a lot of us in the Discord as well chucked it on Dawson, but yeah, misled. Part of me that turned me away from Laird was, I think, just thinking it was going to be this absolute smacking just before the bye, and he's been under that bit of an injury cloud. His calf's been taped up recently, and I thought he'd be the one going through the motions and to be fair, he probably still was going through the motions. That's just how poor West Coast are, but he had a really good big first quarter, and that helped him for the rest of the game. So yeah, missed out on that one there. That was, going to help you this week, really, is nailing the captain like that, but wasn't to be for me. Sinclair was pretty good on way back when, Thursday night. So yeah, has been obviously up and down a lot recently, but has gone okay the last couple of weeks, I believe, because he went. No, he didn't actually, went 70. So yeah, it's been very up and down. I think I've owned him. I can't remember now. I think maybe for the North game, I got him in, but yeah, I think his average, well, it averages out, but would obviously hope he would be more consistent from here on out. If I bring that down to there. Will Day, yeah, very pleasantly surprised with a ton this week, which is good. So we'll take that. He's probably the one he's the one I opted to keep because Shees was the one I chose to sideways. Just by reasons, definitely part of that, knowing that round 15 needs more help than 14, but just his role is still very, very good. So I know Shees was able to get a good score out yesterday, but I just chose to keep Will Day in defence. Everyone's probably got a bit of an average D6, so he's going to be mine. So hopefully he just plays out the year and can go anywhere in the 90s. Then Chincotta was pretty good. Hopefully just keeps his spot. I think for me, he's going to be the one I keep, considering Eddie Ford's going to make a lot more money, but I can make that decision in a couple of weeks. And then obviously guys on buy. Bont was very good. Just goes about this every week. You expect from him. Obviously would have preferred to at least have the VC or something on him, and I would have taken it. Like with Rowan, I probably should have taken it in the end. I was pretty much locked into doing it, but yeah, just wanted to try and nail a big one because that was the only way you're going to make some ground. Led we spoke about. Sarong, so I brought Sarong in this week as well as Neil. They were my two ins for Shees, and then Atkins and I believe it was Weddle. Yeah, Weddle, who I traded out. So obviously a little bit premature on Weddle, but he was sort of the one to go to make an upgrade, and I only could make that happen by $600. I wasn't going to sideways Shees until obviously last week, and so then I opted to do that and spent about 100K in my bank to do it to get to Neil. Sarong was sort of always a guy I wanted. So look, he was okay. He butchered it quite a lot. Just always seemed to want to slam it on his own boot instead of maybe looking for someone like Andy running past or anyone really. He just really loved just kicking it away from stoppages game. And to be fair, it was quite a wet game, bit of a territory game. So I guess you always sort of want to play that way in those conditions, but that probably held him back. Andy, bit similar, actually just didn't get a lot of the footy in sort of the early fourth when they were making the comeback. Couldn't get his hands on the ball, and because he was going quite well in the third, and then as it was sort of a close one, obviously he wasn't really involved too much, so he sort of stunted a bit. But yeah, take that both from them, and then Neil was a very, very weak game from Neil. A lot of marks, not a lot of contested ball. I think Dev came in, did well in and under. Hugh did well as well. With some more mid-time with kind of like Zorko out and stuff. So a bit of a weird one, but we'll still take it. Hopefully he can have some bigger ones. He's got quite a nice run coming up, the Lions. So we'll take that. Green being very disappointing. I think the buy couldn't be coming quicker for him. Hopefully get a refresh and go well from here because we're pretty much going to have to keep him. I can't really be afford to trading someone like him with how many I've got left and other issues we've got. And then Walsh is another one that's really disappointing. So my mids, obviously guys I would like instead of these guys, Clary and Track, and we'll probably look towards getting Clary back for round 15. But, Clary, Track, Liver's going very well. And I know a lot of other people have someone I'm missing. Maybe like, who's the other one? I know some people have Steele, but that's obviously not who you'd like. But yeah, it's pretty the Demons guys, really, I would like instead of sort of your Green and Walsh in there. But, Sammy still get 30 touches, but he just isn't really affecting the game much. So we're going to have to hold him as well. Hopefully the bye helps him. Both of those blokes, really. And then MJ was really good. Matty Johnson got a bit of an increased mid-time. So hopefully that continues. I think Aish will go out with the concussion and then O'Meara will come back. So hopefully it doesn't change too much there. English, we sort of spoke about before. Pretty average game from him. Hopefully can improve on that. And then Rowan, as we said, didn't take the VC, but thought he was quite good. Could have gone a lot bigger than this. Just didn't take a lot of his chances with the hit-outs. Quite a lot sharked. Had about 50 odd on Hickey, so absolutely dominated him there, but wasn't able to take advantage. And then Briggsy, huge. 400k already is remarkable. He's already gone up 150 in 2 weeks. So fair play to those who had to get rid of Big Shrek and go down to him. That's obviously worked out really well. He's turned up 4 times in a row now. So gets one more game before the bye, and Shrek won't be back. So up against Luke Jackson with 113, he'll go up to 460, which is really, really nice. And you could consider, if you got him at R2, you could I would definitely be holding him past this. But then for someone like me with him in R3, I'll probably just, depends what happens, but probably grab his money and, as I said, get someone like a Clary, him be my avenue back to him. But there's no real reason why he can't sort of sit at R2 for you for the rest of the year. Like, can he get close to Rowan, maybe within sort of 10 points? But I wouldn't honestly be too surprised if it's closer than that. So he's actually got quite a bit of skill, the big man. So I do like Briggs. I would definitely just, if you've got him at R2, consider keeping him. So Corey went 21.37 up to 600 spots. Well done, mate. And then we've got Liam. Yeah, I did retweet a tweet I had about Timmy about a month ago saying, he's not too good. I think it was about the Port game when he kicked a few goals and then played super well again. Obviously Kane would be playing that up a bit during the year, but I don't know if he truly believed it or not, but it's clearly not the case. And main targets, we'll get to that in a bit. Dazzy, I'll get through my team and then we'll have a look at some league rankings, some other guys, see how they're going. And then look at some targets for you guys. I'm probably not making any trades, but I know some of you will be. So we'll look at that. And the forward line, Dunks, Tarano, Rosie, all very, very good. Butter's obviously the one we're sort of missing there as the other key guy. Goulden didn't really play a lot of midfield time, especially a little bit weird. But it's actually going down. He's actually had 2 of his biggest scoring games without much mid-time. So, look, obviously Errol won't be going anywhere. Just wasn't his game. He had about 80-odd fantasy. Just couldn't put it together. I think he had a lot of frees given away. So, good evening, Razano. All right, Eddie Ford, very nice as well. I will mention him. Going to make some good cash for us. Could get up to, about 300k if he goes pretty decently, but obviously has that buy, so I might be getting rid of him on that buy as well. We'll see. DC actually as well, I'll mention. A lot of people probably looking at him post buy. I think he should be pretty good, although there is other options that we'll speak about. But we'll get to the games. I'll try and not speed through this, but only talk about the guys who are somewhat relevant. So I've sort of written them down here. Jake Lloyd, a big one people brought in this week, and played wing for about 3 quarters, and then scored about, I think, 50 dream team almost in the 4th quarter when obviously Blakey went down. So Blakey will be out another week, you'd suspect, with the concussion. So yeah, look, you obviously got Lloyd in to help you for the rest of the year, but especially the buys. So yeah, hopefully he plays more halfback as he has for most of his career from here on out. But yeah, clearly that's where he needs to play to score. So we'll see what happens there. Errol sort of spoke about in my team, weirdly just 7 clangers. There you go. A couple of frees against. Still tackles well and mostly kicks, but just not a bit of an average game from him. So yeah, Rampy is back as well, Aiden. So look, we'll see what happens. Cunningham's probably someone you'd love to get dropped for Lloyd, something like that. But we'll see what happens there. And obviously there's Malikan too, so maybe if one of them was out to go out of the side, it'd help. Because obviously Blakey will be coming back at some point. Who else have we got? Georgie boy, yes, I will be watching that tomorrow. Obviously, very very excited. Hopefully, they get it done tomorrow. I don't want any chance of a comeback, but yeah, we'll be looking forward to that. Elliot, very good round, mate. That's huge. Stop listening to Jorts. I'm sure he'll appreciate that, but I don't know what he was telling you that wasn't any good, but yeah, good. Well done to you, mate. And then Fee, we'll get to that. The Hawks game will be coming up soon. I'll say what I think. I've already sort of thought or said what I think in the fact that I will probably would look to trade him. But we don't know how long it is yet, right? So it's a bit hard to say until we get a definitive answer. So probably talk more towards that on the podcast tomorrow night or whenever we record that. But it's a quick turnaround, I guess, with footy on Thursday. But back to this game, I thought Sheldrick was good for 3 quarters. Sort of didn't find it in the last. And I think he actually went backwards in the last quarter, but with a bit of mid-time, he'd be a great option. Not really required at this point of the year. And then he'll probably lose a role anyway once a few people are back. Like I think Parker's out, so yeah, just someone that dominates in the twos and juniors as well, but just no real role for him. Malikan is there as well, I guess, as someone, but 170k. I was thinking about him, but you kind of want to be going down to a lot cheaper rookies and get all the money out as you possibly can. But yeah, it was a very poor game, Aiden, especially that first quarter. We spoke about Sinclair, spoke about Rowan, really, in my team review. Wanganeen Malira, unfortunately, is doing all of this very good scoring the last month or so for people who started him a bit too late. So, yeah, you're onto something there. He's obviously taken a lot of kickouts, a lot of ball back there with Sinclair sharing a bit, but obviously way too late now to be doing it. So I'm sure no one really owns him anymore. And then Jack Steele, very, very weird, very poor first half, as you can see here with the yin yang from Big Monty, but worked his way into it in the third. I think he had about a 50-point third quarter, and then again in the fourth, didn't really do too much there. So I know George has him. We'll have to hold on to him from here. Hopefully, scoring can improve from this. But yeah, if you were still thinking about getting him and wanted to see one more week, this probably told you that not really going to be looking his way. And whilst he's very, very cheap, probably another guy like Walsh who's going to be around his price, you could get quite cheap post-buy as well. So, yeah, don't really want to look Steele's way. And then there's Windhager all the way down here who just got quite a bit of it early, just butchered it very, very badly, and obviously score reflects that. So, yeah, not too sure on his role going forward. I think Seb sent a clip where he's got sent back to the VFL to work on some things. I don't know if that was his kicking was part of that, but it might still be something he needs to work on. But yeah, obviously he's there at I think about 180k option of some sort, or he might have dropped a bit. So 175 mid forward. So if you got the trades and you want someone that might be covered for you for the rest of the year, you could think about him. But I'm not even totally sure in his job security. So I'll probably leave him. Next game, try and get through these a bit quicker. Libba, very good. As I said, it's like up in the top 6 mids or something for the year, average-wise. Bont as well. Caleb Daniels, one we really could think about as a defender, and he's got both eligibilities, I believe, anyway. So defender forward, 615k. Unfortunately, it's probably just too much to really consider bringing in. Low break even again, but then obviously has the terrible buy, so he's just been absolutely dominating lately. And yeah, whilst he might be an option for a top defender or forward, it's just probably not the time to bring him in. As you can't really do it, I would assume. Trelaw, very good in there again. Look at all these points from the dogs, just the dogs that we all know. McRae 120. So he's an option obviously as well as a forward, but is quite expensive himself and has the bad buy. So a lot of these options are all the same. English, sort of spoke about him already, and then really there's not much else. Any cheaper players, and then Butters and Rosie are the really only two from Port that are worth really talking about. And Butters is obviously one that I would love to own, but again is pretty expensive himself and has that same buy. So not too much else to talk about from this game. Thought it was a pretty decent game. Port obviously deserved to win in the end, and they're looking quite good this year. So interested to see how far they go when it gets to finals time. Actually, Houston, some people were tempted to him, and I know one person that did bring him in, unfortunately, and he went very, very poorly. But probably not too bad to do it in this week with the best 18 in the easiest buy round ever. So can take a little bit of something out of that obviously gets his worst game ever out the way. Sicily, as we spoke about, is headed to the tribunal. As much as it sucks, he's finally scoring very well, and he cops 2 suspensions. So I've experienced that all this year. As I said, I started him, so that's been a lot of fun. But it's going to get worse from here. So we'll see what happens there. Not really too much to talk about until we find out. But if it is 3, and then it includes his buy, I would probably lean towards trading. Just got to weigh up how many injury trades you sort of have left. For me, if I was to trade him, if it eventuates, I'd have, after my upgrades, 2 left. And with, 9 weeks to go, that's very, very risky. So we'd have to consider that, but I probably would. But anyway, we'll move on. Will Day we spoke about, and then there's just Mitchell and Weddle down here with a couple of 74 and a 68. So nice if you want to trade them to get an upgrade done. Sure, but then obviously have a look how you're looking for round 15, because obviously they'll both help you in that sense there. And maybe Weddle, with Sicily, definitely out round 15, I would say. Could help him, I guess, with Frost to come back. Weddle could get a bit more ball down there, so he could help you quite a bit in that round. And Seamus as well. He's been really, really good. Dunks, very good captaincy score for anyone who was able to nail that. I know a couple of boys in the Discord got that. Peter and Henry did really well, got him. I think it was a captain too, not a vice captain. So very, not ballsy. I mean, Dunks has been going awesome lately. So I think I chucked the captain on him about 4 weeks ago, got 105. And then every other score between that's been very, very good. So, yeah, got to start considering him more, I guess, for sure. He's killing it. Neil, we spoke about, I got him in, but just a weird game. 14 marks for Neil. It's got to be his career high, I would assume. Just only 9 contested, but yeah, still had the 30 touches. Just I think the score fairly reflects how he played in this game. Wasn't totally influential, but was still pretty good in some patches. So hopefully he can get some more inside ball in weeks going forward. And then there's not too much else. Will Mott, if you held on to him, very nice. Gets a 90 post buy, so you would love that. And then Ashcroft, not too bad to get an 80 away from home. That he hasn't been doing too much scoring away from home, but yeah, probably not too many people own him anymore. But he's been very, very good this year. Next game as well, the big shellacking from Tex, kick 10. It was very, very fun to watch. Besides, yeah, the fact that it was a pretty terrible game, but to watch that was very fun. Led pigged out, as we see, 34, 20 contested, 13 clearances. That's remarkable. Obviously, probably wasn't too difficult for him, but would have loved to have the captaincy on him. Keys, I know a few people were looking at him this week as one of those cheaper options, and he did well. Feels like all of them did very, very well this week. All the cheaper options, your Keys, Himmelberg will get to 5 as well, but they all had a very, very good week. So very promising for those. But obviously just comes down to whether Keys keeps that role in the team. Dawson, as we said, had 32, just didn't really use it too well. He hasn't been doing that much lately, 65% here again, and sort of wasn't too big in the first quarter, so that obviously doesn't help you when it ends up being a 120-point game. Much of what you do past then is obviously scaled down a little bit, so didn't help him, and it helped the likes of Tex and Laird and stuff to keep ticking along. And obviously Rob was good too. Not too much else from Adelaide, and then there's really nothing from West Coast. Although Aiden said big BJ Williams. Yeah, this is actually starting to piss me off because I picked him last year at about 200k as a sort of rookie / stepping stone, getting that number one ruck role, and he was dropping 50s, and then this year he's just going absolutely not bananas, but he's I think averaging about 80 now. So that would have been lovely last year, BJ. But it's good to see you've actually come on not too badly. He's doing all right. But the one to speak about is probably Marich. I got him in this week straight up in his first game. As you saw with my team, I was only able to complete that sort of trade of Weddle, Atkins, and Sheasel to Sarong, Neil, and then Marich by $600. So I needed a 102k rookie, and obviously you guys probably wait to see if he's named in round 15. But I expect him to play the rest of the year. Really, the way West Coast are going, how many injuries they have, just picked him up in the mid-season draft, and just expect him to give him a go. And he did actually quite well. Kicked an early goal. Stayed active, obviously not much ball down there all day, but finished on 49. Don't expect to really play him or get any scores from him, but at least he'll be there as a backup. I would expect for the rest of the year. I wouldn't see why they wouldn't play him from here on out. See what they've got. Maybe he gets a rest here or there at some point, but yeah, I would expect him to play. So I just sit on my bench in the forward line. So just purely a backup if I'm required, if I need him. And then, yeah, nothing else really from that game. Then North and GWS, there's a lot of players in this game that were somewhat relevant. So obviously the Kangbro, Yo scored 113, Aiden, but I don't think anyone's really in a position to bring a guy like that in. And it's probably just, we always knew what that pick was going to be heading into the season. Could have done quite well, but injuries was also part of him being a pick, and that's what derailed him at the start. So yeah, don't think you'd look his way now. Can't really see how you would, but obviously shows us that we're on the right track with that pick. It just injuries obviously killed him. North a lot, like Aaron Hall going 120 here. Not that you would ever look his way anymore, but Taran really cheap. I think 295 and he's played 2 games now, so he's going to rise this week. Did kick 3, so that obviously plays a part. Only scoring 112, you maybe expect him to go a bit higher, but he only had 19 touches. Played a lot of mid in the first half. I think he sort of got pushed out in the second half. Zeeble sort of bounced back quite nicely. Copped a big hit in this game as well. Actually came back on and toughed it out. Had 30 touches. Shees as well started a little bit poorly. Got moved. I think was it in the third or was it the fourth? In the fourth, sort of moved up around the ball into the forward line. And actually seems to be scoring a lot better there these days, but he can sort of score anywhere as well. Got a 98. Then we had Wardlaw, huge, scored 94. He was awesome in the first half, sort of maybe faded out a little bit, but as did North. But was really, really impressed with him. He was awesome. And then Eddie Ford as well actually ticked along nicely all game. Got a few nice marks, intercept marks actually. Back, tracking back into defense off the wing. So quite a lot there. And then Will Phillips actually as well scored 79, but not too many people, I would say, have him anymore. I did skip the Tigers. I'll go back to them. So yeah, that was very good from a lot of those North players. So look, I know one of my mates, shout out to Tom, North fan, has Taran. I don't think he has Zeeble, but has Shees, Wardlaw, Eddie Ford, and he was absolutely loving it. So they're all going very well. Would you consider, again, Taran would probably have been a decent pick earlier in the season if this, was to happen. But at this point, I'm not too sure how you would grab him. Doesn't help you in round 15. I mean, if you have the trades, by all means, grab these guys like a Taran Thomas, like a Fife if you want him, like a Himmel, because you're gonna probably need some cover. And if you want to use, your trades that way, get your cover on your bench, and then you're able to sort of hold injuries, 1-2 week injuries for the rest of the season. You could definitely go it that way, and then sort of loop them week to week. I just don't see with low trade count how you could sort of get on a guy like Taran. So I'd probably let him go. Zeeble and Sheasel could honestly bounce back and actually go pretty decently and average in the 95 to 100 range for the rest of the year. Zeeble probably a little bit more if just keeping this role, but it's funny. Aaron Hall was in there. They're probably just hurting them all all hurting each other really. So we'll see what happens the rest of the year. And then Eddie Ford's going to make quite a bit of money, which is nice. And then yeah, you're right, Aiden. There's Jai Simpson to come back. LDU I think will be back next week. So they've got a lot to fit in there. With Wardlaw, Taryn, Sheasel, they want to get in there at times. Will Phillips playing really well. So I don't know. Tom Powell as well is kind of probably the one that gets kicked out and already has. So got a lot of players to fit in there. So be interesting to see how what they do. Giants, Briggsy, huge. Like if you've, as I said before, was able to go Shrek to him and sit him in R2 for a couple of weeks, and as well as next week, he's just been really, really good. And as I said, could genuinely end up being a keeper. So we'll see what happens, but he's been really impressive. Goldie, not the easiest matchup, actually going well this year, Goldie, but he, matched him in there with the hit outs, got a bit more of the ball, tackles very well. So very good stuff from Briggsy. Going to make a lot of money for us who have him at R3, and then, as I said, could even be a keeper. So good from him. Cogs turned up. Finally, I saw a lot of people saying, he's obviously had quite a few bad ratios this season, and funnily enough, had a good one when he still had 6 clangers at 64%, and was able to still get quite a decent ratio and ton up. And then Himmelberg's obviously the next big one to talk about, which scored 88 in the end. He was going very well first half. Then sort of third quarter, Giants really started to get on top, and he wasn't really able to get his hands on the ball. Fair enough, it was barely down there. And then he sort of finished off well in the fourth. But quote from the coach, Kingsley says that he will, play down there for the rest of the year, that he thinks he's better down there. And they've, had to shuffle to even fit him down there, right? Setting someone like a Lockie Key forward who just isn't that. Obviously, he's playing a bit of ruck too, but, they dropped Cabman. So they've shown that now that they're trying to play him down there, and whoever else has to play in other positions that they don't care, because he believes he plays his best down back. So look, it will be interesting to see what happens when Sam Taylor comes back, because does then Haynes start playing forward, which I know he has in a game or two before. Maybe someone like a Iden, who plays in defense at the moment, might get dropped for Taylor, so they'll probably just fit him in that way. But will be interesting to see. But he has now said pretty definitively that Himmelberg will be playing down there for the rest of the year. Sorry, and now he's 374k and has a 26 break even. So one more game before his bye, he's going to be about 400k, I would say. If he scores about a 90 to 100 next week, then you can look at him after the bye and grab him for 400k in round 16 as a sort of D6 or an F6, which I'll probably will look at myself, and then try to keep a bit of cash for any injury trades that I'll need. So I'll show my team and back at the end what I'm thinking. But I know George got him in this week, was happy with him. Looks to be a decent pick going forward. Tom Green, we spoke about, just needs a rest, I think. Like, still finding quite a bit of the ball, just keeps managing to butcher it quite a bit. So, very, very poor effort from him in that one. And then Faye as well, actually scored 54, started very, very well, then went missing for quite a bit, but is there as an option, I guess. I don't know what his price is now, because I think he's had quite a few sub games, but 126, so break even at 2 if you wanted someone that's a chance to keep playing, but he probably makes his way for sort of the likes of Cumming and whatnot when they come back. So we'll get to some players. I don't think Mills is back this week, as far as I know, so I wouldn't be relying on him. All right, a couple more games. We'll go Richmond one quickly. Not too much in this game. Just Sarong Brayshaw, we've already spoken about. Matty Johnson did very well, which is nice to see. So hopefully he does that for us the next couple of weeks, makes some more money. Fife, a lot of people might have looked his way. Actually scored very well, had a nice hot patch in the third quarter, kicked a goal, did a few nice contested things, had 7 tackles. So he's there. I think he's about 300k now. If you had the trades, sure, but you're probably 275. You probably would have got him last week. So getting him now would seem a bit weird, but maybe you like someone that could be your cover for the rest of the year, and he could do that role for you. Then we've got Sturt, another one. I know Jaws traded him out. Other people might have had him. He's back in the team. Played quite well, but you wouldn't be looking to get him in. Just be nice if you had him as an extra warm body. Bolton was superb. That last quarter was ridiculous. 900 metres gain. I think he had half of that in the last quarter. And then kicked a goal as well. So super dominant. I think he's heading towards 600k now as a forward, which is quite funny. But he has just played a lot more in the midfield since Hopper went down about 5 weeks ago. His mid-time just went way up, and he's been really, really good in there. A lot of contested stuff, a lot of ground ball gets. He's just an absolute cat in there, bounces around, generally just slams it on the boot very long, plays that territory game, and he did that very nicely on Saturday night. It was huge. Boston was quite good as well, but Timmy T, obviously just having a monster year for us, averaging 118. What I would say, be leading our BNF this year, been a huge pickup, kicked a couple of goals again, just been awesome. So very, very happy for him that he started his career at Richmond very well. A lot of pressure, a lot of shit talk about him, to be honest, that I haven't liked. So really happy to see him go well, but obviously not too much to speak about with Timmy. Probably should captain him more is really the only thing to take away from him. Then not too much else. Samson, yeah, if you still had him, dropped a very big stinker in the pretty average conditions, and he'd be definitely gone for you now. And then yesterday's game last night, I was actually at this game. Very average game of footy. Carlton actually on top pretty much early for the first half, weren't able to finish, and then Essendon came out with that very big third quarter. 2 metre Peter, clunking everything, finishing all his goals, and that was pretty much it. So pretty average game of footy. Like, was only interesting for a little period there, and then outside of that, just a lot of bad Carlton kicking. But in regards to who we want to speak about this game, not much. Sam Walsh will be a cheap option for anyone who wants to look his way. Post buy will be about. Let's have a look. He's 528 now with 140 break even for next week. So he's going to be very cheap, I would say. Like, I wouldn't expect him to beat that break even next week, but maybe let's say he goes 100. He's going to be very cheap, put it that way. So if you're looking for a cheap option, he's there. And then Doherty's the other one, I guess. Just butchering it a lot, not taking a lot of weird, risky kicks, not coming off, and his score reflected that on Sunday night. So again, bad buy. He's there as an option, and if he puts it all together, could probably be one of the better D5s, D6s. But not sure too many people are in a position to grab him. And then Chincotta, we hope would stay in the side. Kicked the first goal of the game, scored a 50. If you're relying on his money, probably not going to get too much more. I wouldn't have thought. 26 break even. So, another 60 would be about 255 before the buy. That's probably where he'd sit, I would say. And then Essendon, Nick Martin's been super, absolutely insane. And as a forward option, I don't know what he's averaging now, but he's not too far off the top of the line. 530, he is averaging 91. So, just that rung below. But his last, 3 weeks have been really, really good. But as a wingman, it's a bit hard to say that he'll keep that up and be an option. So I'd probably look away. Trav, I don't know if you're talking about the Carlton one, but to be honest, it wasn't good. Or unless you enjoy Carlton's downfall, which, to be fair, I think a lot of people do. So maybe it was good in that sense. And then what else we got? Ridley and Merritt, pretty much the only other two. Rid's going actually very well the last month since coming back, and then Merritt, was obviously getting tagged early and then sort of moved forward. So did well, kicked a goal, set up a few other goals. So obviously got some nice scaling for that and points for that because he only had 18 touches. So still tried hard and let the others get to work, like Hobbs and Caldwell and some others. So good win by the Bombers. And then today we had obviously the D's get across the line, just shot themselves in the foot quite a bit with some bad goal kicking, but we're pretty not dominant, but on top for the most of the game, I would say. Viney was superb. Obviously filling the void of Clary was really, really good. So, yeah, he won the medal. Gorn was quite good as well. A few clunks around the ground. Track, very, very poor by foot today. 50%. And I think at one stage they said he was at 11% kicking efficiency, which means he was about one of 11 kicks, I believe. He was effective. So also, or maybe it's one of 9 it would have been, and then he maybe had a couple more after that. So yeah, barely any effective kicks today. Missed a couple of set shots on goal, but still tackled hard. Had a lot of contested balls, so did try hard. It just did reflect his score, and then not too much else on the D side really. And then Nick Dacos kicked that late goal, bumped his score up a bit. DC was pretty good throughout. I actually thought. Yeah, I am an owner of Big DC, but I thought he got pretty harshly done by. I had a few big contested marks, intercept as well. But obviously he got pretty thoroughly beat in the ruck, so wouldn't have got a lot of points from rucking this game. 5 tackles is nice, and then just went off late a couple of times with the old blood rule. They weren't able to patch it up properly, so he did spend about 10 minutes in the third as well, right on the bench, which was very annoying. Didn't come back on until very late. So I think he's an option. But after saying all that, what I am saying is he's an option for people looking for a cheap sort of F6. But there is Himmelberg there who's cheaper, but there is also the buy. So got to weigh that up with your team, see what it looks like. But I think they're probably pretty similar, I would say, average-wise from here on out. And maybe Himmelberg could go bigger for the rest of the year. And then Harvey Harrison, rookie option. Not the biggest Pies fan in the world, so I don't know too much of who could be coming back. We'd have to have a look, but that basically does he keep his spot? He could be an option there to give us a body in round 15, which is really, I guess, all you'd need. And then past that, you would like him to be some cover, but I'd probably say he'd exit the team at some point for the rest of the year. But again, not a Pies fan, so don't know too much about him, but thought he was all right. Kicked a nice goal early on and played his role. All right, done all that. It's a long-winded review, and it was a bye round, although there was only one less game. My team. So for next week, obviously round 14, we'll bring Stewart on. Constable, I don't expect to play, so I'm not even going to bother. And then that's pretty much it. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. So just scraping the 18 for this week, obviously provided, Chincotta holds. And really there's no one else that you would expect wouldn't. Raston was sub as well, so, I could find a way of getting his score on field, although I don't think I actually can without a trade. So, oh yeah, did he get injured, Baz? I didn't see that, but anyway, he might be an option for round 15 for some people. Depends how many trades you got left, Aiden. Really, like if you depends how many it's going to take. Like if you finish your team, how many you're going to have left? I think for me it'll be 3, with having 7 left for 2 upgrades, which I'll try and get on screen. But yeah, I'll use 4 of those to get my last 2 players, and then have 3 left. So if I want to use one of those to trade Sis, I'll have to decide because, yeah, we'll only be left with 2 for the rest of the year to cover any injuries or trade any big injuries out. So, yeah, really it's team dependent. Hard to say. If Tribunal basically means 3+, then yeah, it's not looking good. But we'll wait and see till that's confirmed. So anyway, that's how I'm looking for this week. And basically my path to finish my team is Briggs at 460k. He could genuinely just become like Himmelberg. Obviously not in round 15, but I'll probably do him and say an Eddie Ford to Clary, and a rookie of some sort, and then Humphrey will hopefully make a bit more money. And he'll probably be the one that's straight to Himmelberg in round 15, and I could probably get that done right with only 3 trades. So it depends. Do I want to downgrade, Chincotta as well? If I can avoid doing that, then I'll probably look towards doing Sis and downgrading him, and then I can get money that way. And then I could probably actually have um, 3 trades left. So we'll see. I'm probably, yeah, still gonna have 3, but that would be obviously better than 2. So if I go for Himmelberg, I probably can avoid going down to 2 trades. So, hopefully he does, well, we'll see what happens, but yeah, hopefully he does play, and yeah, we'll see how I can get that done. But yeah, so that's fine. It's more round 15 where I'm not looking too good. Obviously, a lot of the forwards out, but should have 4, 6 in defence, then 8, 10, 12 in the midfield, um, 1 ruckman, so 13, and then 14, 15, 16, 17, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4. So 17. Um, Pre any trades, but yeah, then I'll probably, yeah, Briggs and Ford will be out, so I should be actually okay to get through the next few weeks, next couple of buy rounds, sorry, and then it's just, yeah, can I get to the finish line with probably pretty low trades, not the best midfield, missing someone like a Track, or we'll look at some of the top lines at the minute. So, I own the top 4 defenders. That's nice. As I said, Caleb Daniel probably could be in there. So, um, no one will probably have him, but he's been going very well. Sinclair, and then it's your D6, which obviously for me is all the way down here. Will Day averaging 91, which is not great, but yeah, everyone's probably got a poorish D6. So he'll be mine. In the midfield, it is, yeah, quite interesting. Clary and Tracker in there, but Liver's sitting in there quite high, going very, very, very well this year. Merritt, who I don't have, so it's sort of, yeah, that's the other one it escaped me before because of my sort of stuff ups 3 or 4 weeks ago, getting Stewart before. I don't have Merritt, so it's Merritt and Track. So I'll probably just for me end up getting Track. Sorry, Clary, and then I won't have Track and I won't have Merritt, and they'll be my 2 big sort of antipods in the midfield, with instead having Walsh and sort of a Neil, I guess, because I've got both the Freo boys. Most people have Tom Green, so that's sort of not an antipod, unless they're able to trade him, which don't think they will. And then we know who it is in the forward line. It's Zach Butters, and a few people actually jumping on McRae as well, who I would have loved to have gotten, but just didn't work, and the buy doesn't work as well. So we'll see. But they're sort of the main ones I'll end up not having in my team for the run home. So Oscar, just sort of showed it before, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in defence. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. So provided Marriage plays, which I think he will. Humph will come back in, of course. Johnson will stay in the team, I would suspect. It's 17, and then this week is the week I will trade Briggs, get his money out, and then probably Eddie Ford. So, Briggs up to Clary, Ford to whoever rookie. So I'll actually end up with probably 19, provided, I would assume I would hopefully look to get a playing rookie. So that's how I'll look for that week. I've sort of got less of those buy plays. I don't have a Zeeble or a Sheasel, don't have Butters, that sort of thing. So I think I'm not too bad. So it really just comes down to, am I trading Sicily? Which we'll have to wait and find out. But yeah, that's kind of how I'm looking. Look at some rankings, and then I probably will jump off because not too much else to talk about. We'll look maybe some high break evens, low break evens as well. But first, I think I'll refresh this just to make sure it's all correct. Yep. Sitting about, yeah, wow, a couple hundred points ahead of Locke, who we know in the court is doing very well this year. We'll see what his team's looking like. Good new feature. They've actually chopped into SuperCoach, so you can actually just see the team and how it looks. So yeah, got Will Day. He got Neil. He's got no Anderson. Sit on the bench. Got Wardlaw. That would been very nice. Got Gorn. And Howard Zeeble and Sheasel. So it'd be interesting how many trades he actually has left, because he's got a few premiums he could, doesn't have a Butters, doesn't have either of the Freo boys in the midfield, although they're not, must-haves. And will, you would think, try to get Clary back. So Interesting. Yeah, very interesting. Am I blind? Does this guy not have uh, Josh Dunkley sitting at M1? So yeah, doesn't have Butters, doesn't have Clary or Track or Sarong or Brayshaw, but that's about it really. Has all the big four defenders. As I said, everyone's sort of got a bit of a fraud, couple or at least one defender. Lock, few differences. So it has Jake Lloyd. I think he got this week. Obviously disappointing, but if he plays correct role from here, could still be good. Has Sarong and Track, so it has those two as a bit of differences. Has Cogs, who I think the other guy doesn't have. Has Briggs on the at R2 as well, because Locke was a Shrek owner. So there is quite a few differences here actually. So we're just interested to see what happens over the next few weeks, and then has Butters as well. So yeah, actually quite a different team from him. And then Zach is another mate of mine we know here, so he's going very well as well. And it's kind of similar to Locke. Actually has Brayshaw over Sarong, I think, which is different to Locke, and has English as well. So it has Briggs R3, which is good, but yeah, different to Locke where he's not on field. And then they both have Butters, or has Steele as well, which is not great. And then has Shees also. A few differences here. And then the rankings, they're always looking pretty good for us, but a lot of leagues killing it. Hall of Fame league, the Regs league, and then yeah, I mean they're all us really till about league 15, where it tails off, or not tails off, but isn't us for the first time. So yeah, that's it. I'll jump off. Just a quick reaction to the week. We'll obviously record a pod probably tomorrow night and try to get that out, because obviously, yeah, round starts pretty soon. You've got Thursday game, Port and Geelong. Actually, we'll talk about captains, as everyone loves to do, which I haven't been hitting all year, so it's really killing me. But did pretty good last year in that area, so obviously there's some luck involved. Obviously not totally, but I just haven't hit them really. I think I got the Sicily 170, and that's pretty much it. Like a couple of 120s. Just haven't not been consistent in that area at all. But this is the week. I was saying with Dunks, we could look at a VC on Dunks at the Gabba against Sydney, have been pretty poor. So you could definitely look his way. And then as far as captain, back up there, I mean, Bont against North on the Sunday. I know it's the last game of the week. Some people don't always love that, but that would look pretty clear to me as an option. So that's probably the way I would head early without studying too hard. But that's probably what I'd look to do. So yeah, again, thanks for watching, guys. Thought I'd jump on and do a live stream. It's a bit of a weird round, 5 days of footy, but yeah, we'll record the pod tomorrow. I'll decide whether I record my own team video for anyone who didn't get in the live stream. Probably will do a short one there, and then yeah, we'll be back into the footy on Thursday. So yeah, Max Shields might tag Bond, but to be honest, I don't think anyone really can. But yeah, hopefully the VC gets through, as you always hope. And learning experience from me last week, just take the Rowan 119. Don't try and get stupid. Although, yeah, I just thought this week was the week you probably had to get a captain right to really jump up in the ranks, and I just got it wrong. So anyway, as I said, thanks for watching, guys, and we'll catch you on the next video or stream. So cheers.